There's a growing rift in Syria within the president's inner circle. Bashar al-Assad's cousin, a business tycoon, has refused to step down as head of the largest mobile operator in the country. In a 16-minute video posted online, Rami Makhlouf says the collapse of Syriatel would be a catastrophic setback for the economy. He says he's under pressure to hand over profits from his telecommunications empire or face arrest. This is the third such video Makhlouf has posted in recent weeks.
I won't step down. If I resign, I would be failing the company and the country. At the height of the war, I did not abandon my country, my president, or my folks to do it now.
Well, the 50-year-old billionaire is considered the wealthiest and one of the most powerful men in Syria. Before the war began in early 2011, he controlled 60% of the economy. This allowed him to build an independent power base. Apart from Syriatel, his business empire ranges from real estate to construction and oil trading. He's been under US and EU sanctions since 2008 for what Washington calls public corruption. Well, Joseph Deyer is a Swiss-Syrian academic at the European University Institute in Florence. He joins us now live from Geneva. Thank you for your time. How significant is this rift between Bashar al-Assad and his cousin?
Good evening. Thank you for your invitation. No, the rift has been ongoing now for nearly a year. It began actually in the summer of 2019, the first measures taken against Rami Makhlouf and some of his key institutions, such as Syriatel and Bustan Charity Foundation. But it became much clearer in the past few weeks. There's a clear offensive from the Assad's inner circle, if you want, the presidential palace, represented at the head by Bashar al-Assad, but with also his codicier, as we say, his brother Maher al-Assad and his wife Asma al-Assad. There is a clear offensive against Rami Makhlouf and his economic power, but not only his networks that he was able to build through this economic empire, which Syriatel represents the crown jewel. It's its main economic asset. It's most probably the largest private company in Syria with more than 6.5 thousand employees. It has 11 million subscribers. It has assets of more than 250 million US dollars, and its market share is nearly 71%. So there's a clear offensive from Assad's presidential palace, if you want, against Makhlouf in a framework of reducing economic source of rents, therefore more competition. But it's also linked to cutting any kind of patronage networks that Rami Makhlouf has in the country, so ending the forms of autonomy he used to have in the country.
I just want to drill down on that a little bit more. I mean, is this a sort of reordering of things for Bashar al-Assad of how he plans to rule or wants to rule Syria going forward?
It's definitely a deeper concentration of power within Assad's hands and within the Assad family directly. It's not anymore like prior to the uprising in 2011. Basically, the Assad Makhlouf ruling together. It's only the presidential palace, and these are the results of various evolutions during the war, but more especially the growing economic role that has been playing Maher al-Assad through his 4th Brigade armed division that has taken an increasing economic role during these past few years, whether in trade and in smuggling. And therefore, they want to control what was traditionally the traditional realm of Rami Makhlouf's role within Syria's ruling strata, the economy. So it's definitely a way to concentrate even more power in the presidential palace. This offensive represents.
So that's the power side of things. What about the cash side of things? I mean, so many years of war. Is Bashar al-Assad cash-strapped? Is that part of it?
I mean, definitely accumulating funds for the Assad's family or Assad presidential palace and the state is an important issue. But I would like to remember that this is not a campaign against corruption, whether or not in the objective of accumulating more funds for the state. This regime has been ruled by a near mafia family that owns the state. There have been new rising businessmen that are completely affiliated with the regime and to which are representing a competition to Rami Makhlouf's role in the economy. And he actually accused them of being war profiteers, and he would be the nice businessman that accumulated honestly his money prior to the war, which is obviously not the case. And I also would like to remind that it was the Syrian state that provided the diminution of taxes to Syriatel in the mid-2014, 2015, and also to the other main telecommunication company in the country, MTM. They had their taxes reduced from 60% to 20%. So we must be clear, this is a clash, a rift among the highest strata of the ruling family. The presidential palace is launching an offensive to concentrate more power. This is the key objective of Bashar al-Assad and the presidential palace more generally.
Thank you so much for explaining all of that. That's Joseph Dahar there, an academic at the European University Institute. Thank you.